Every time my childhood friend and I meet, we do the same thing, which is to slap each other's faces 800 times. We've been notorious rivals since childhood, but as soon as I returned home, my mom made me pick up that jerk, my childhood friend, in order to maintain our superficial bond in front of our elders. Reluctantly gave him a call, but I didn't expect that damn childhood sweetheart actually hung up on me. There was a group of people in the private room. They were indignant because I kept making harassing calls to her. Someone started jeering. It's the first time anyone's dared to harass Sister Yao like this. I rushed outside the room in a fury. I saw where my childhood sweetheart was sitting at a glance. Yun Mengyao, you brat, how dare you not pick up my call? Everyone in the room gasped. It was the first time they had seen anyone dare to scold Sister Yao to her face. On the other hand, Yun Mengyao was leaning against the sofa with her legs crossed, watching me. A barely perceptible curve appeared on her lips. Although she hated me, she had to admit I was really handsome. Just as I was about to walk into the room, Lu Chen reached out and blocked my way. I just looked at Lu Chen, wondering what he was doing. Lu Chen tilted his chin up. Are you here for Sister Yao? As soon as I heard that voice, I knew Lu Chen was the guy on the phone. I almost couldn't help rolling my eyes. Is that any of your business? Get out of my way. Lu Chen looked at Yun Mengyao. Sister Yao, who is this guy? A friend? A mischievous smile flashed in Yun Mengyao's eyes. I don't know him. I was speechless. Yun Mengyao, do you have a death wish? Do you want me to launch you into the sky like a satellite? This made Lu Chen even more arrogant. He looked down at me condescendingly. Since Sister Yao said she doesn't know you, you're not allowed in. And what if I insist? I leaned against the doorframe, acting even more arrogant than Lu Chen. When dealing with a man like him, you can't be soft. You have to be even more arrogant than he is. Otherwise, he'll just push his luck and walk all over you. Lu Chen was infuriated by my attitude. Do you know who I am? How dare you speak to me in that tone? Apologize to me right now. Otherwise, I'll make you regret this instantly. You won't even get the chance to beg for mercy. I smiled slightly. An arrogant and overbearing bully of a rich kid. Hey, what is wrong with you? Others want to hear their strengths, but you insist on hearing your flaws. Is your life too comfortable? Has your brain rotted away? Chu Chang's mouth hung open. It had been a long time since he heard anyone dare to scold Lu Chen like that. He swallowed nervously. Chu Chang'e glanced at Lu Chen, and saw that Lu Chen's face was as dark as a storm cloud. Faint laughter broke out in the room. Lu Chen turned and glared. The laughter stopped immediately. To enjoy the show better, Su Muron turned off all the sound in the room. Suddenly, it became dead quiet. Lu Chen took a step forward and glared. Apologize. Or don't blame me for being rough with you. I showed no fear. Do whatever you want. Lu Chen sneered. He grabbed my collar, and threw a punch at my face. Yun Mengyao's brow furrowed. She stood up reflexively, subconsciously wanting to help me, but the moment she stood up, she froze. Why should she help him? Doesn't she hate him? She should be happy to see him being bullied. Before she could snap out of it, another loud punch landed. It was much heavier than the one before, but this time, the punch didn't land on my face. It landed on Lu Chen. Yun Mengyao went silent. She had forgotten. With my fighting skills, I didn't need her help at all. The others gasped. Holy crap, what a rare sight. It was their first time seeing Lu Chen get beaten up. Before, it was always Lu Chen beating others. You actually dared to hit me. Lu Chen was livid. I landed another punch on him. The boys who couldn't stand Lu Chen began whispering again. Oh my god, this scene is so satisfying. Yeah, totally. This is such a relief. I've wanted to do this to Lu Chen for a long time. I just didn't dare. In school, besides Sister Yao and Shin Qingyue, no one dares to touch Lu Chen. I grabbed Lu Chen by the throat, and pinned him against the door. With a cold smile, I said, listen, young master, I'm warning you, if you dare touch me again, I'll break your hand. Yun Mengyao curled her lips. I was still the same as before, never willing to take a loss, no matter the situation. Chu Chang'e stepped forward, trying to pull my hand away, but he couldn't budge me. Don't go too far. I glanced at Chu Chang'e. I originally thought this guy was either just like Lu Chen, or a sycophant, but the moment our eyes met, I could see it. This guy really considers Lu Chen a friend. What's wrong with this guy? His taste in friends is really weird. I ignored him, and looked at Yun Mengyao, fuming with rage. Is it fun watching the show from the sidelines? Get over here, now. Everyone looked at Yun Mengyao in silence. Then they looked at me. Who exactly is this guy? How dare he speak to Yun Mengyao in that tone? Isn't he afraid he won't survive the night? To everyone's astonishment, Yun Mengyao walked over, coming. Everyone was stunned. Sister Yao actually walked over, and she was quite obedient about it. What's going on, Sister Yao? Didn't you just say she doesn't know him? Lu Chen was terrified. He even started trembling slightly. Looking at me, Lu Chen's heart sank. Who exactly is this guy to Sister Yao? Yun Mengyao walked over and smirked. Gu Shiyan. You're still the same. You haven't changed a bit. You never take things lying down. I let go of Lu Chen and looked at Yun Mengyao. If your eyes aren't working, donate them to someone in need, okay? Your daddy here has clearly become much more handsome. Everyone's jaws dropped. Not only did I talk back to Sister Yao, but I even called myself her daddy to her face. Lu Chen trembled as he looked at me, then back at Yun Mengyao. He asked, Sister Yao, didn't you say you didn't know him? Yun Mengyao didn't even look at him. Lu Chen, I believe I've told you more than once. When I'm talking to someone else, I don't like being interrupted. Sorry. Lu Chen immediately apologized. Screw you. You act like a king in front of me, but you turn into this in front of her. I thought you were like this with everyone. If you're so tough, why don't you punch Yun Mengyao too? I said to Yun Mengyao, I really think you should see an eye doctor. Dating a guy like this. Be careful, or I'll tell your mom on you, and let her deal with you. Gu Shiyan, there's a saying. No investigation, no right to speak. Yun Mengyao said I have high standards, and that I wouldn't just date anyone. I snorted. That was satisfying to hear. Just as I was about to tell her to leave, Yun Mengyao looked at Lu Chen and told him to apologize. I looked at her in surprise. Wow, she's actually speaking up for me. It's only been half a year, and she's actually showing some humanity. Lu Chen was humiliated. If it were in private, he would have apologized already, but he looked at his classmates in the room, almost all of whom he had bullied. Apologizing in front of them, wouldn't that be a huge blow to his pride? Sister Yao. Lu Chen looked at her, awkward and afraid. I was secretly stirring the pot. What? Weren't you acting tough just now? Exactly. Yun Mengyao's voice turned cold. Do you not understand my words? Lu Chen panicked. He had to swallow his pride and look at me. Reluctantly, he said, I'm sorry. What I love most is showing off in front of bullies. I show no mercy. Too quiet. I can't hear you. Yun Mengyao looked at Lu Chen helplessly. Su Muran couldn't help but burst out laughing. Su Muran's laughter immediately made Lu Chen feel ashamed. But since Su Muran was Yun Mengyao's best friend, no matter how arrogant Lu Chen was, he had to hold it in. Lu Chen took a deep breath. He raised his voice. I'm sorry. I said, one more time. Lu Chen choked with rage. Don't look at me like that. You're making it look like I'm bullying you. The point is, your apology lacks sincerity, and sounds very impatient. Who would accept that? I looked at Yun Mengyao. Right, Sister Yao. Yun Mengyao nodded slightly. Lu Chen clenched his fists. His nails dug into his palms. He had no choice. In front of her, Lu Chen truly didn't dare to be arrogant. He just took a deep breath, and tried his best to sound sincere. I'm sorry. Good, I'm satisfied now, but I'm not going to forgive you. Then I glanced at Yun Mengyao, and said grumpily, let's go. I actually had to come up here and find you. Yun Mengyao looked at the room. I'm leaving now. After we left, someone asked Su Muran, who was that guy just now? Do you know him? It's the first time I've seen Sister Yao listen to a guy like that. Su Muran shrugged. Sorry, I really don't know anything this time, but one thing is for sure, that boy, to Mengyao, is definitely no ordinary person. Outside in the hall, Shen Qingyue leaned lazily on the sofa. School is about to start. I'm not happy. As Shen Qingyue was about to speak, my angry voice drifted over. Yun Mengyao, just tell me how you're going to compensate me. If it weren't for you, I would have been beaten up by that Lu Chen guy. Shen Qingyue and Zhou Qianqian were stunned. Shen Qingyue's gentle gaze, the moment she saw Yun Mengyao, turned cold as ice, replaced by bone-chilling indifference. Didn't I already stand up for you? What else do you want? Yun Mengyao didn't look at me. Besides, didn't you hit him back already? I flared up. I'm not talking about that Lu Chun guy. There's a cause for every effect. If it weren't for you, would I have been hit? Then what do you want? As Yun Mengyao spoke, she noticed the lounge area on the right. Shen Qingyue and Zhou Qianqian were there. She subconsciously narrowed her eyes. After glancing at me, she circled from my left to my right. I'm talking to you. I was so annoyed. What are you circling around for? Yun Mengyao asked. Then what do you want? If you ask me that, I don't really know how to answer yet. Just grant me 3 favors. But I haven't thought of them yet. I'll tell you later. Yun Mengyao looked at me with disgust. Are you a rogue or a robber? Of course I am. Once I came to my senses, I almost kicked him. If that unfortunate news reaches my house, I'll tell your mother immediately. How I got this injury. You'll be in for it then. Yun Mengyao had no choice but to compromise. Deal. I tilted my chin and smirked. That's more like it. Zhou Qianqian looked at Yun Mengyao in shock. After following me into the elevator, she looked at Shen Qingyue. She's actually Yun Mengyao's friend. This is the first time I've seen a boy who could be so close to Yun Mengyao outside of school. Shen Qingyue didn't say a word, watching the elevator doors close. After a long while, a slight smile appeared on Shen Qingyue's lips. Because it was Saturday, even though it was already 8 p.m., the traffic was still very congested. I suddenly noticed a pharmacy by the roadside. Looking at Yun Mengyao, I nudged him. Go to the pharmacy and buy me 2 ice packs. Otherwise, the swelling on my face won't be gone before I get home. Yun Mengyao smiled indifferently. He looked at me blankly. Gu Shiyan, do you realize that you're the only one who dares to boss me around? Impatiently, I said. Stop nagging and just go. Don't forget, I only got hurt because of you. It's not too much to ask you to go. You're served by others wherever you go every day. By serving someone else for a change, you can better understand what it feels like to be served. Besides, it's your honor to serve this young master. Now get out and buy them. Because I couldn't stand Yun Mengyao since I was a child, my attitude toward him has always been very rude in private. Yun Mengyao gave a fake smile. Gu Shiyan, you're really getting more and more confident. I scratched my hair. I have everything you have, and I even have things you don't. Why shouldn't I be confident? True, your shamelessness and roguishness are things I certainly don't have. Yun Mengyao said as he unbuckled his seatbelt, opened the door, and got out of the car. I was fuming. I was so angry I wanted to pin him to the ground and beat him up. That brat always knows how to annoy me. When I was little, because my birth threatened my second sister's position as the most spoiled child, my relationship with her was just average. That brat took advantage of that at my house, often teaming up with my second sister to bully me. Luckily, I was a good fighter and had my eldest sister protecting me, so I didn't suffer too much. Thinking back to before elementary school, I was a head taller than him. I used to sit on him and beat him up all the time. However, times have changed. Now, Yun Mengyao is the national karate champion. If we were to actually get into a fight now, I might not win. So, I should definitely stick to arguing instead of fighting. 5 minutes later, Yun Mengyao returned. He handed me the ice pack. Thanks. How are you going to thank me? I rolled my eyes. Just as I was thinking of how to curse him out, Yun Mengyao spoke again. Your school abroad should be starting soon, right? How do you have the free time to come back? It's not like I wanted to come back. My parents transferred me back to a domestic school, without even asking for my consent. I'm a bit unhappy about it. I don't even know which school they transferred me to. The curriculum abroad is different from the one here. Except for physical education, every exam here is the hardest in the country. None of the exams for any subject even have multiple choice questions. Aren't your parents afraid you'll rank last in the grade? Don't worry, I'm not as bad as you say. Don't forget, my middle school entrance exam score was only 1 point away from being first in the province. Speaking of which, I'm still annoyed. Why couldn't you have scored 10 points less back then? Then I would have been the top student in the province. Actually, second place is quite fitting, Yun Mengyao said. It matches your image and temperament perfectly. I gritted my teeth. Believe it or not, I'll bash your head in. We arrived at the villa. Uncle Lee, the butler, was the first to see us. After excitedly announcing our arrival, he greeted the servants, and immediately came to meet us. The house was very lively. When we reached the living room, I saw my parents, And my two sisters, chatting with Yun Minyao's parents. The servants said in unison, "Good evening, young master, young lady." Auntie Yun said to me excitedly, "Shiyan, come here." Coming. At home. I liked standing with my two sisters the most, so I sat down between them without hesitation. "By the way, I have something to tell you too," Auntie Yun said with a smile. "What is it?" I took the orange juice from the servant and started drinking. Gu Wanwan leaned into my ear, and warned me with a smile, "Friendly tip, don't drink that orange juice yet." I looked at her in confusion, not understanding what she meant for a moment. Auntie Lin said with a smile, "We're planning to get you and Mengyao engaged." Yun Mengyao was a bit stunned. I was so shocked that the orange juice I had just swallowed came coughing out. My nose and throat hurt like hell. Mother Gu couldn't stop laughing. "Oh my, Shiyan, don't be so excited. Look how happy you are." I was in shock while coughing violently. "Do I look happy?" Gu Wanwan shrugged. "I did warn you." Mengyao frowned. "This matter, why didn't you discuss it with us beforehand?" I finally stopped coughing. I agreed, "Exactly. Other things aside, how can you not discuss an engagement with us first?" Auntie Ming laughed and said, "What's there to discuss? You'll definitely agree anyway. How close your relationship is, you both know very well." I was so speechless that I asked, "Didn't you guys even consider, what if Mengyao already likes someone else?" Auntie Yun smiled and waved her hand. "Impossible, impossible. Whether Mengyao likes a boy or not, how could I possibly not know? She's cold as ice at school, and it's the same outside of school." Uncle Yun also added a sentence. "Mengyao is only warm toward you, she's only nice to you." I hesitated and said, but Auntie Yun interrupted me. "Shiyan, no more buts. Mengyao's fiancé must be you. I can no longer find anyone more suitable for Mengyao than you." Uncle Yun nodded. "I think so too," my father said. "All right then, since neither of the kids has an objection, then this engagement is settled." I was nearly scared to death. How did it just get settled like that? Wait. Who said there were no objections? There are. There are. Just as I was about to protest, Uncle said, "Then let's set the date for next year's Valentine's Day." Auntie Yun added, "And the wedding will be set for the year they graduate." My eyes glazed over. This suffocating despair. However, something even more desperate happened. Auntie said, "Oh right, Shiyan, to help you two bond better, we've decided to have you transfer to Mengyao's school, and then, together, move into a luxury apartment under my name." Saying this, Auntie Yun raised an eyebrow. "Only the two of you will be living there." I felt like I was so scared I was about to cough up blood. Leaning on Gu Wanwan's shoulder, I said, "Quick, take me to the hospital." Gu Wanwan gloated and said, "The hospital is useless. You need a drink." I snapped back, "Drink my foot." Yun Mengyao looked at Auntie Yun. "You want me to live with Shiyan, and just the two of us?" Auntie Yun nodded. "That's right. That's the best way to nurture your relationship. Why do you think I insisted? You learned how to cook last month during summer break. It was so when you lived together. You can cook all sorts of delicious food for Shiyan." Yun Mengyao and I stared at each other in silence. "Is this the legendary long-term premeditation?" Auntie Yun said. "Don't worry about the cleaning. Louis will go over every day at 2 p.m. to clean your place. If you need anything later, or want to eat something, just tell Louis." "Oh, right. Shiyan, if you run low on pocket money later, just ask Mengyao for it. You are the Yun family's future son-in-law now. Ours is yours." What a wonderful thing to hear. Yet I didn't feel happy at all. I'm actually okay with the engagement part. After all, engagement is just roughly equal to marriage. And it's not like you can't get a divorce after marrying, but having to live with that girl, under the same roof again, I really can't stand it. My mother stood up and said, "All right, enough talk. Li Bo came in 10 minutes ago to tell me the barbecue ingredients are all ready. Let's go have a barbecue." I grabbed Gu Qingqing and Gu Wanwan to stop them from leaving. Once everyone else had left the villa, I immediately asked my two sisters in a breakdown, "Did you two know about this all along?" Gu Qingqing hummed in affirmation. Gu Wanwan smiled and said, "Yup, surprised, unexpected, right?" I looked like I was about to cry. "I'm so surprised I'm dying." "Okay, why didn't you tell me? If you had, I wouldn't have come back. It's not like you don't know how much I hate Yun Mengyao." Are you guys even my sisters? Gu Qingqing pulled me into her arms. Of course, she said. I asked with a long face. Then why don't you love me anymore? Because Meng Yao really is quite good. She's also the most outstanding girl around you. I quickly started with some flattery. Nonsense. The most outstanding ones around me are you and second sister. Gu Qingqing curled her lips slightly but didn't speak. Seeing that Gu Qingqing clearly had no intention of helping me, I had no choice but to place my hopes on Gu Wanwan. I grabbed Gu Wanwan's hand, looking at second sister pitifully. Can you help me think of a way? I can attend the same school as Yun Mengyao, but I don't want to be engaged to her, and I definitely don't want to live with her. Gu Wanwan thought to herself, this brat Shi Yen only begs for mercy at times like this. You never see this side of him usually. Little ancestor, it's not that we don't want to help. We did try. We tried to persuade mom and dad for a long time, that they should at least get your consent before making a decision, but it was useless. I find it strange. Why do mom and dad usually respect our opinions and thoughts? Gu Wanwan said, you and Meng Yao are to blame for that. Who told you to, despite being like fire and water, to insist on acting in front of mom, dad, Uncle Yun, and Auntie Yun like you were more than friends, but less than lovers? It led them to believe that you had already started a secret, but thrilling puppy love in private, and that you just didn't dare tell everyone. I was speechless. Secret but thrilling, my foot. Gu Wanwan added. So, based on the misunderstanding that you and Meng Yao were mutually in love, they got you engaged, and it allows you to be together openly, instead of in secret. My mind raced. So that means, if Yun Meng Yao and I had shown our dislike for each other from the start, they wouldn't have made us get engaged. Isn't that obvious? Mom and dad adore you so much. Would they force you to engage someone you don't like? I pulled away from Gu Qingqing's embrace. Then I'm going to tell mom and dad right now, and uncle and auntie, what my relationship with Yun Meng Yao actually is. Just as I was about to rush off, Gu Qingqing's voice rang out from behind me. Stop right there. I listen to Gu Qingqing the most at home, and I'm also most afraid of her. So after hearing what Gu Qingqing said, I immediately sat back on the sofa obediently. Gu Qingqing said, have you ever thought about it? If you go and confess now, it will not only embarrass our parents and the uncles and aunts, but it will also make them sad. So I just have to keep this bottled up. Yes. Since you caused this whole situation, you have to bear the consequences yourself. Don't try to shift the blame when you can't handle it. I gave a reluctant grunt in response. Gu Qingqing stood up and said, I'm heading out first. You guys come out soon, too. After she left, I grabbed Gu Wanwan's arm and wouldn't let go. Wanwan tapped my head. So fierce. Why don't you try being fierce with Gu Qingqing? I backed down instantly. Second sister, you know me. Besides being afraid of having no money, the person I fear most is eldest sister. Second sister, help me think of a way out. Gu Wanwan shrugged. There's nothing I can do. You and Meng Yao have to take the fall for your own mess. I was getting frantic. If you don't help me, after I move in with you Meng Yao, two very unfortunate things are likely to happen. First, I'll do whatever it takes to take you Meng Yao down with me. Second, you Meng Yao will be beaten to death by me. Gu Wanwan retorted in a dismissive tone. Give me a break. You can only beat Meng Yao in an argument. I don't believe for a second you'd win a fight. Even though you and Meng Yao are both karate black belts, you're only a first-degree black belt, while she's a third-degree. There's quite a gap between you. The current Yu Meng Yao can easily beat you into submission, just like you used to beat her when you were kids. Believe me. My face fell in disappointment. Of course I know that. So there really is no way. Gu Wanwan shrugged. No way. 3 days later, in the afternoon, I was slumped on the sofa in my small apartment, eating fried chicken and drinking Coke. Suddenly, my phone rang. It was a call from Gu Qingqing. I answered. Gu Qingqing said calmly, get ready, pack your bags. I'll be at your apartment building in 10 minutes. At that moment, I just wanted to die. How could I have forgotten? Today was the day I had to move in with Yao the dog. I tried to butter up my sister in a gentle voice. Can I? No, Gu Qingqing interrupted. You don't love me anymore, I complained unhappily. Gu Qingqing chuckled. You little ingrate. Have you ever seen me dote on any other boy, the way I dote on you? I'm so sad, so please help me. Gu Qingqing urged me. Alright, go pack your bags. I'll be there soon. Hanging up now. I was helpless. What a suffocating turn of events. The apartment building Auntie Lin mentioned was in Huayin Spring, the most high-end neighborhood in Shuli City. It was surrounded by prime real estate. In the elevator, I leaned against the handrail, feeling gloomy. The elevator doors opened. Gu Qingqing and I dragged my large suitcase and rang the doorbell. Coming, coming. Auntie Yu opened the door, looking very joyful. Come in quickly. At the entrance, Auntie Yu got slippers for Gu Qingqing, while telling Yu Mengyao, who was playing games on the sofa. Mengyao, stop playing and get some water for Gu Qingqing, and the coke that Shiyan likes. I hid all my emotions from before, and said politely, thank you, Auntie. Auntie Yu smiled. How many times have I told you? No need to be so formal with me. I had only taken 2 sips of coke, before Auntie Yu pulled me and Yu Mengyao up. Oh, right. I haven't shown you your room yet. Auntie Yu pushed open one of the doors, and said excitedly, come in. This is your room. Wow. It was in the warm tones I liked. Thanks. I was actually quite happy at first, but then a thought flashed through my mind. My voice cracked in shock, and I looked at Auntie Yu in disbelief. Our room? What do you mean? Auntie, are you joking with me? Yu Mengyao was also shocked. Mom, this is way too much. Auntie Yu got upset. How is this too much? Isn't this great? For the sake of this bedroom for you and Shiyan, I specifically found the most famous designer in the country. It was designed for you. It's one thing not to be grateful, but you're yelling at me. How did I raise such an ungrateful child? If I had a choice, I'd really want a son like Shiyan. I had a lot of objections, but suddenly didn't dare say a word. Seeing that Auntie Yu was genuinely a bit upset, Yu Mengyao had to stop talking back. Seeing this, I almost burst out laughing. That's what you get for always annoying me, getting scolded. Serves you right. Auntie Yu looked at me and explained, Shiyan, the reason I'm doing this is mainly to help you and Mengyao strengthen your bond. Besides, when you were kids, didn't you stay in the same room? We lived together for several years. Of course I remember. Our beds were right next to each other, not even half a meter apart. Thinking about it, I suddenly noticed that in the room Yu Mengyao and I were moving into, the beds were also less than half a meter apart. My heart suddenly ached. History repeats itself in such a shocking way. I tried hard not to look miserable, but as you said, Auntie, that was when Mengyao and I were kids. We're adults now. There's a difference between men and women. I was already on the verge of a breakdown, and now making us stay in one room. Is life really trying to drive me insane? Why did Yao the dog live in my house when we were little? I, on average, every day, fight with Bite Dog at least once. A huge part of the reason is that we live in the same room. I vividly remember the winter break of 2nd grade. When Bite Dog went to the bathroom, she accidentally woke me up. I've had a terrible morning temper since I was a kid, so I cursed at her very fiercely. I even threw a teddy bear at Bite Dog. Then we started fighting as we argued. Because the fight was so fierce back then, it alerted the adults in the house. Mom saw that I had scratched Bite Dog's neck, and her forehead was even bleeding. She grabbed me and gave me a good beating. Bite Dog was hiding to the side with my second sister, laughing. Just thinking about it makes me angry. Aunt Lin waved her hand, saying it was fine. As long as you don't sleep in the same bed, it's not a breach of gender boundaries. Suddenly speechless and feeling desperate, I couldn't respond to that. Yun Mengyao closed her eyes, feeling weary. Aunt Yun added, besides, you are definitely going to sleep together after you get married. It's good to adapt in advance. For anything, being prepared is always better than not being prepared. Aunt Yun asked with a smile, do you two have anything else you want to say? My heart was crying. I wanted to speak but didn't dare. I replied, nothing. Yun Mengyao also replied coldly, nothing. All right then, Gu Qingqing and I will head out first. We won't disturb you, Aunt Yun said, and then couldn't help but laugh out loud. I was speechless. Auntie, what on earth are you imagining? To be laughing so happily. My friendliness with your son is all fake. It's all fake. Before Aunt Yun left, she even stuffed a credit card into my hand. The limit was 500,000. She told me to spend it freely every month, and not to be polite at all. At first, of course, I didn't accept it. but I still couldn't resist Aunt Yun's enthusiasm. I had no choice but to take it. An allowance limit of 500,000 a month. All the allowance my family gives me, combined doesn't even reach 500,000. Aunt Yun is truly too generous. After seeing off Gu Qingqing and Aunt Yun, Yun Mengyao and I went back home. I stood outside the door, entering the password while saying, "Your mom is so thoughtful." The password is both our birthdays. 60, in the living room. Living room. Yun Mengyao said to me while I was drinking Coke, "For the sake of our harmony, I'll just sleep in the guest room." I gave a thumbs up. I'm giving a huge thumbs up to your rational choice. Then I dragged my suitcase to the master bedroom. I stretched my muscles and bones a bit, preparing to unpack the luggage I brought. However, just as I opened the suitcase to take things out, I heard Yun Mengyao walk into the room. I frowned and asked very rudely, "What are you doing here?" Yun Mengyao replied, "The guest room here was turned into a gym by my mom." I was speechless. Aunt Yun had blocked all the paths from the start. Yun Mengyao stood before me, looking down at me, and said in an uncompromising tone, "You move to the study." I almost threw the iPad in my hand at Yun Mengyao's head. I was very angry. Why should I move to the study? If anyone's going, it should be you. Making a guest sleep in the guest room? Is that something a human would say? Is that something a human would do? Yun Mengyao said arrogantly, "Because this is my house. My mom bought this house." Unmoved, I said, "This is also my house now." Yun Mengyao was stunned. "Since when is this your house?" "Mom said I'm already the son-in-law of your Yun family, so what's yours is mine." Yun Mengyao gave a sarcastic laugh, reminding me, "Gu Shiyan, don't forget, our engagement party hasn't even happened yet. There's no legal relationship yet." I stood up and shrugged, "If you round it up, then we have a relationship." Yun Mengyao was shocked, rounding up. "Gu Shiyan, I really underestimated your level of shamelessness. Do you have no shame at all?" I immediately retorted, "As a girl, you're actually making your future son-in-law sleep in the guest room. When the nurse delivered you, did she throw away your face instead?" "Gu Shiyan, you." Yun Mengyao was so angry she couldn't speak. Seeing that I completely crushed Yun Mengyao, I immediately started gloating. "What about me?" Yun Mengyao didn't say anything. I arrogantly budged Yun Mengyao with my elbow. "Wow, what about me?" Yun Mengyao sneered, "Forget it. I can't be bothered to argue with someone like you." She left those words and went outside to pull her suitcase. I was fuming. Someone like me? What's wrong with someone like me? I rolled up my sleeves. I was originally going to have a big fight with Yun Mengyao, but then I thought, forget it. Every time I fight with Bite Dog, I just end up angrier. The fact that I have such a bad temper is largely thanks to Yun Mengyao. After unpacking, I went to take a shower. Just as I was about to grab a towel, I found that I hadn't brought a towel in at all. Not only that, I hadn't even brought in the clothes I needed to change into. I covered my face in despair. I really wanted to punch myself. A brain is a good thing to have, but I don't have one. I went to the door, opened a crack, and called to Yun Mengyao, who was lying on the sofa watching TV. "Yun Mengyao." Yun Mengyao looked at the TV as if she hadn't heard a thing. I gripped the door hard. "Yun Mengyao." Yun Mengyao put down the remote, and took the mineral water on the coffee table to drink. I finally reached the end of my patience. I shouted at Yun Mengyao furiously, "Yun Mengyao, you bastard, are you playing dumb with me? You think you're a plastic bag? Even a plastic bag isn't as full of it as you." Yun Mengyao finally looked at me, and asked indifferently, "What? Want to invite me in to shower with you?" I was so angry at her I was about to explode. That jerk. She's always pushing my buttons. But right now, I need a favor from her. My attitude and tone have to be a bit better. I gave a slight smile. "Hi, what are you thinking? I need to ask you for a favor." Yun Mengyao leaned back on the sofa. "But what if I don't want to be bothered by you?" I was fuming. "You jerk, don't force me to go to the kitchen and turn on the gas. To go down with you." I endured, keeping a smile on my face while sharpening a knife in my heart. "Is there no room for negotiation?" Yun Mengyao gave a light smile. "Well, there is something to discuss." My eyes lit up. I saw hope. So that jerk is still somewhat human. "Yun Mengyao, don't I owe you 3 favors? If I use one up now, wouldn't I be losing out? You're taking advantage of me." "Fine." The negotiation failed. Yun Mengyao looked away. "I'll go back to watching TV." I gave a fake smile. with a look that said I'd kill her if I could. Hey, Sister Yao, I was just joking. Then it's a deal. Fine, just you wait. A gentleman's revenge is never too late. When it's your turn to beg me, just see how I'll mess with you. Until you don't even know who you are. What do you want me to do? I didn't bring my towel and pajamas in. Can you get them from the bed for me? Yun Mengyao looked at me seriously. You want me to get your pajamas? I nodded. What? It's just picking up some clothes. What's there to be embarrassed about? Wait, I suddenly realized. My underwear is with the pajamas on the bed. My face turned red with embarrassment. Actually, just get my bathrobe from the closet. It's in the top shelf on the right. Yun Mengyao stood up and said reluctantly, wait here. I leaned against the door, extremely embarrassed. A minute later, Yun Mengyao brought my blue bathrobe. I took the robe, said thanks, and quickly shut the door. Yun Mengyao didn't leave. She leaned against the marble wall, and called out to me inside, hey, Black Heart. Black Heart was a nickname she gave specifically to me. She always called me that in private. I put on the robe and got ready to dry my hair. Why are you calling your daddy? Just as I was about to plug in the hairdryer, Yun Mengyao's voice drifted in. It echoed clearly in the bathroom. Don't you think blue doesn't suit you? How does it not suit me? Are you blind? My body and looks are a perfect match. Your personality doesn't fit. Blue is supposed to be a gentle color, but you just ruin it. I had already lost out to Yun Mengyao. I was already unhappy, being provoked by her like this. I couldn't suppress my anger anymore. I slammed the hairdryer onto the sink, opened the bathroom door, and aggressively pushed her against the wall, one hand on her shoulder, the other against the wall, just as I was about to start scolding her. A ding came from the entryway. The door opened. We both looked toward the entryway at the same time. Aunt Yun said with a smile while changing her shoes, Shiyun. Mengyao, look at my memory. I was in such a rush to play cards that I forgot my wallet. I'm back to get it now. What are you two? Aunt Yun's words, after seeing our position, stopped abruptly. Her smile immediately turned into excitement. Oh my, did I interrupt you too? I was tongue-tied. It happened so suddenly, without any warning, so much so that I still hadn't reacted. Yun Mengyao hurriedly explained, Mom, it's not what you think. Sorry. Mom is leaving now, right now, Aunt Yun said while quickly finding her wallet. She left the house as fast as a retreating tide. While waiting for the elevator, Aunt Yun was smiling happily. She took out her phone and called Mother Gu. Hello, Shua, let me tell you, those two kids. Mother Gu laughed along with Aunt Yun after hearing it. It just got dark. It's not even 6 o'clock yet. Why are those two in such a hurry? Aunt Yun couldn't stop grinning in the elevator. Exactly. They're clearly dying to live together, and share a room, yet they still pretend they don't like each other. I've wanted to expose them so many times. Man, these kids are so young. How are they such good actors? Mother Gu said, they're just afraid we'll find out about their puppy love. They think they're being clever, but we are actually very open-minded. They're going to end up together anyway. What's the harm in being together a bit earlier? I finally came to my senses. I let out a frustrated growl. Yun Mengyao, I'm going to kill you. I threw a punch at her face. However, as soon as the punch was thrown, it was easily caught by Yun Mengyao. Infuriated, I swung my other hand, and it was caught by her again. Let go. I ground my teeth. Otherwise, I won't be easy on you. Yun Mengyao curled her lips slightly. Gu Shiyun, do you think you can still win in a fight? Of course, I knew that now. I was no longer a match for her. I had that much self-awareness. But now she seemed to be deliberately provoking me. It immediately made me feel like my pride was insulted. I believe that whether someone bullies you, or hits you, you must never just take it, nor should you keep it inside. A grudge must be settled on the spot. Otherwise, what are you saving it for? An inheritance? You're asking for it. I raised my leg, ready to kick Yun Mengyao. Yun Mengyao gave a friendly reminder. Watch out, you're exposing yourself. I froze, almost forgetting that I was only wearing a bathrobe, and nothing else underneath. Taking a deep breath, I'll let it slide. Consider yourself lucky. I won't hold it against you this time. Let go of me right now. I'm going in to dry my hair. But this debt, I'll definitely record it in my notes later. I'll get you back with interest soon. Yun Mengyao stared at me for a moment. She let go after making sure I wasn't lying. I shook my wrist grumpily. My muscle lines tensed and relaxed with the movement. I went inside to blow-dry my hair. Soon, the sound of the dryer, a loud buzzing noise, came from inside. Yun Mengyao didn't leave. She was still leaning against the wall, staring thoughtfully at the bathroom door. Although she really hates me, and has since we were kids, it has to be admitted that, after she was brought home by her parents, she didn't quite adapt for a long time. Not used to sleeping in a room alone, not used to having no one to bully. Even Yun Mengyao herself didn't notice. Deep in her eyes, there was a faint, subtle smile. I dried my short hair and walked out. I saw Yun Mengyao sitting on the sofa watching TV again. I went into my room and changed into sportswear. The loose t-shirt accentuated my tall frame. Picking up my phone, I strode over to the sofa, and sat on the single armchair next to her. I reclined comfortably in a guyu slouch. I closed my eyes and enjoyed it for a moment. I looked at Yun Mengyao. Yun Mengyao, what are we eating tonight? Without looking up, she said, I'm not hungry. I stretched my limbs. The subtext was, go fix something yourself. I flared up. Your mom said you'd cook for me. I didn't agree, she replied. I was infuriated by her again. Fine, don't cook then. I'll cook it myself. It's not like I can't. During my years abroad, I already learned how to make many dishes. With a sour face, I headed to the kitchen to get food. But I still had some pent-up anger. It felt really annoying. I grabbed a throw pillow, and threw it at Yun Mengyao's face. Direct hit. I was instantly delighted. Perfect. Satisfaction. I went to get food. Yun Mengyao picked up the pillow from the floor. She watched me skip toward the kitchen, and also stood up to follow me in. She shook her head helplessly, still as simple-minded as ever, so easily satisfied. I had just tied on an apron, and grabbed a fruit knife to slice tomatoes. Hearing footsteps behind me, I knew immediately it was Yun Mengyao. I stared at her unhappily. What are you doing here? Without a word, she walked up to me, took the knife and put it on the cutting board, then took off my apron. I suddenly realized what she was doing. Then I'll leave it to you. I happily clapped my hands, showing a bright smile. I'm going out to play games. She called out, wait. What is it? Don't tell me you want me to help. Well, you could, she said. Take out what you want from the fridge, so I don't make something you hate, and then you won't eat. My heart warmed. Why is biting dog being so nice? I already checked the fridge. It's either what you like or what I like. Just cook whatever. With that, I grabbed a tub of ice cream. I'm heading out then. She gave a soft hum of agreement. Her slender fingers were already skillfully tying the apron. After I went out, she realized she forgot to ask about my taste. Initially, she was going to ignore me, and just cook according to her own preference. But she changed her mind, lest I flare up again. Her long hair swayed slightly, as she stepped out of the kitchen. Is your taste still the same as when you were a kid? I was sprawled on the sofa, playing games intensely. It's different now. I prefer lighter flavors now, but I can also eat spicy food. You can add some spice to the meat and seafood. She acknowledged it and went back to the kitchen. Good, she also happens to like light and mildly spicy food. This way, at least in the future, they wouldn't have any conflicts. Regarding meals, Yun Mengyao cooked 4 dishes and a soup. Drinking the soup, I couldn't help but praise her. Biting dog, even though I hate you, I have to admit this soup is delicious. She ignored me, and didn't react to the nickname. After all, I've called her that since we were kids, just like she calls me Black Heart. She gave a faint hum. I was speechless. How could someone so cold be liked by so many people? They must be blind. Take me for example. If I ever fall for Yun Mengyao, I'll never eat meat again, and only eat my most hated winter melon and bitter melon. I've had a good upbringing since I was young. My aunt always reminded me to be grateful, and not to take anyone's kindness for granted. So, I proactively took on the dishwashing after the meal. The next day at 6 a.m., I was sleeping soundly, when Yun Mengyao's voice suddenly echoed in my ear. Black Heart, get up. Who is it? What's all this noise? I turned over, hugged the squirrel tight, and curled into the blankets. After Yun Mengyao looked at me coldly, she yanked the blanket off me. She was furious. With my hair a mess, I sat up in bed, picked up the squirrel and threw it at Yun Mengyao with all my might. What are you doing? I was sleeping just fine. Why are you bothering me? Believe it or not, I'll give you a piece of my mind. Yun Mengyao caught the squirrel with her slender fingers. She threw it back at me. Gu Shiyan, are you still half asleep? Did you forget school starts today? Getting hit by the squirrel woke me up halfway. Sorry, I actually forgot. Then get out of bed, wash up, and put on your uniform. Where's the uniform? Yun Mengyao elegantly brushed back her long hair. She looked at me with disdain. Don't you have eyes? I squared my shoulders. I snapped, are you looking for trouble? Breakfast. Everything Yun Mengyao made was what I liked. They were her favorites too, I think. Although Yun Mengyao and I don't really get along, we're surprisingly in sync sometimes. After breakfast, I grabbed a carton of yogurt from the fridge. I planned to drink it on the way. Yun Mengyao's brow furrowed. Everyone who knows her knows. She absolutely hates it when someone eats in her car, regardless of whether there's a smell. Even her best friend, Su Muron, never dared to do it. At the entrance, I shouted to her, what are you standing there for? Time for school. Yun Mengyao stood there, her long hair falling over her shoulders. I didn't know that Yun Mengyao hated people eating in her car. She was going to tell me, but decided not to. In the end, she said nothing. An hour later, Liying Private Academy. As soon as she drove into the school, it caused a stir among the boys. Wow, Shen Qingyue just passed by, and now Sister Yao is here. This is big. I'm so excited I almost hit a tree. She's never even looked at me, but I still like her so much. Hey, guys, look at my style today. Doesn't it look cool? I just learned this look. I'm going to confess to Sister Yao tomorrow. Dude, that's 10,000% impossible. Why would you even try? Besides, talk to me when you can stand in front of her for 10 seconds. Hey, you know, it's not just that she's not interested in dating. She won't even let us get close. Inside the car, I finished the last of the yogurt. I tossed the spoon into the carton, ready to throw it out when I got out. Yun Mengyao parked the car in her reserved spot. When she got out, the fanboys got excited. Wow! Is it just me, or is Sister Yao even prettier than before summer? Yeah, definitely. My heart usually dies when school starts, but I come back to life whenever I see her. Hey, do you think there will ever be a day when Sister Yao suddenly gets a boyfriend? Impossible. Even if she had a girlfriend, she'd never have a boyfriend. Right, forget about boyfriends. Let's see a guy step out of her car first. Have you ever seen a guy in her car? Never. I squeezed the yogurt carton. I grabbed my backpack and got out too. My appearance caused an immediate stir. Everyone's attention was focused entirely on me. I was confused. Why are they all staring at me? Whoa, who's that handsome guy? Why did he get out of Sister Yao's car? He's so hot. What class is he in? Why haven't I seen him before? Is he a freshman? Or maybe a transfer student? One girl spoke up. If he's getting out of Sister Yao's car, does that mean he's her boyfriend? You're overthinking it. Didn't you hear what we said? Even if she dates a girl, she wouldn't date a guy. He looks okay, but he's nowhere near Sister Yao's level. I bet he's just a personal servant. The Yun family assigned to her. That's possible. He looks like a servant. Why would a guy this handsome be a servant, instead of a celebrity? Use your brain. I gave a cold smirk. Why do some guys have such big mouths? I lifted my chin, and straightened up, looking at the guy who called me a servant. My gaze was icy. My aura was intense. The guy trembled under my gaze, and quickly hid in the crowd. What's that servant so worked up about? Was he wrong? He's so arrogant. Does he think getting out of her car makes him special? I looked away, satisfied with his reaction. No matter where you go, there's always a group of people who, without evidence, love to gossip. Gossiping right in front of me. Do they think I'm invisible, or just an easy target? As for being her boyfriend, I'm clearly Yun Mengyao's father, okay? Yun Mengyao walked up to me gracefully. Let's go. I'll take you to the principal's office. I gave a brief nod. I tossed the yogurt carton into a trash can. Holy crap, did you guys see that? He threw a yogurt carton into the trash can. Doesn't Sister Yao never allow anyone else to eat in her car? Even Su Muron only dares to drink mineral water in Sister Yao's car. Could he really be Sister Yao's boyfriend? If that's the case, this heart of mine hanging in my chest is about to stop beating. I frowned slightly and looked at Yun Mengyao. Is what they're saying true? Yun Mengyao gave a faint, aham. Then why didn't you tell me? Although I don't like biting dog, I wouldn't go out of my way to step on biting dog's bottom line for no reason. Don't you know it now? I was speechless. I have to say, talking to biting dog really challenges my patience every single minute. After walking just a few steps behind Yun Mengyao, I saw a tall girl walk up to Yun Menyao's side and put her hand on Yun Menyao's shoulder. "Mengyao, why is this handsome guy coming to school with you?" That day in the private room, the lighting was too dim, and I was standing far away, so she didn't get a clear look at what the handsome guy looked like. Looking at him now, he's truly handsome. On the night I had a conflict with Lu Chen, Su Muran had sent a WeChat message to Yun Mengyao, asking about me, but Yun Mengyao didn't tell Su Muran anything. Su Muran knew that if it was something Yun Mengyao didn't want to say, she wouldn't tell you no matter how much you pushed, so she didn't ask any further. What Su Muran didn't expect, though, was not just meeting me for the second time so soon, but that I would actually show up at their school, and even be brought here by Yun Mengyao. This handsome guy in front of her is indeed special to Mengyao, and I feel a bit familiar, as if she had seen me somewhere before. Yun Mengyao answered Su Muran. "He is transferring to our school starting today." This made Su Muran unable to resist, gossiping once again. "Handsome, who exactly are you to her? Her boyfriend?" Yun Mengyao shook her head. "No." I stared at Su Muran. This girl must be a very close friend of biting dog. Otherwise, someone like Yun Mengyao, who likes to be alone, and has severe germophobia, would have kicked this girl out long ago. Then what's the relationship? Su Muran followed up impatiently. Yun Mengyao remained silent. Su Muran was used to Yun Mengyao being like this, and wasn't angry. Instead, she looked at me. "Come on, handsome, tell me, what's your relationship with Mengyao?" "Me?" I curled my lips into a smile, radiating a cold aura. I patted Yun Mengyao on the shoulder, raised an eyebrow, and said, "I'm her father." Su Muran immediately felt a deep respect for me. She was practically dying of admiration. She almost, right in front of Yun Mengyao, gave me a round of applause. This guy is truly handsome and domineering. Even as Menyao's best friend, she wouldn't dare call herself father in front of Mengyao, okay? Yun Menyao's face stiffened. She stopped and looked at me expressionlessly. I stared back at her. "What are you looking at? Class starts in 15 minutes. Hurry up and take me to the principal's office to report." Saying that, under the shocked gazes of the crowd, I dragged Yun Mengyao away. Yun Mengyao saw that they were surrounded by classmates, so she had to stay calm and give me some face, continuing to walk forward with me without saying a word. Su Muran was dazed. She wondered if she hadn't woken up yet, and was still dreaming in bed. The onlookers were all dumbfounded. They either looked frightened, or had a look of utter disbelief. Who on earth is this guy? How does he dare to be so bold with Sister Yao? Not only did Sister Yao not have someone deal with him, but she even followed him so obediently. It's good to be alive, to witness a development that even a ghost couldn't have imagined. Under a cherry blossom tree outside the crowd, stood a beautiful girl. The smile on her lips was cool and attractive. She was watching me walk away with a smile in her eyes. Quite a few petals fell onto the girl's dark blue uniform. On the left side of the uniform was a black wing-shaped school badge with 3 characters engraved on it, Shenqingyue. Knowing that today, the young master of the Gu family from the 4 great families would transfer to Liang, the principal had been waiting in the office early. In this Liang Academy, each of the 4 great families holds a 10% stake. Naturally, the principal didn't dare to neglect me. Moreover, when Mom and Auntie Yun came to handle my transfer procedures, they had repeatedly emphasized that the principal must never let me be bullied. Otherwise, he would be the first person they'd hold accountable. So, how could the principal not arrive at school early? He even personally, in the office, brewed the drink he had asked my parents about, the hot cocoa I love to drink. After Yun Mengyao dropped me off outside the principal's office, she went to class first. I was warmly entertained by the principal, until the morning self-study period was almost over. Only then did he lead me to the academic affairs office to complete enrollment. "Well, Teacher G, I'll leave student little Gu to you," the principal instructed Teacher G. "Please make sure to look after him well for me." Teacher G was a rather handsome young teacher, looking to be under 25 years old. "All right, principal." After replying to the principal, Teacher G looked at me, and said with a smile, "Little Gu, If you have any problems with your studies in the future, you can always come to me. I nodded. Okay, thank you, Teacher G. While walking to the classroom, Teacher G asked me, Little Goo, I heard you've been studying abroad all this time. Yes, I nodded brightly. Teacher G, there are still big differences between domestic and foreign curricula, but luckily, Little Goo, you're a science student, and I'm your homeroom teacher, and I'm also your math teacher. If there's anything you don't understand in math, as long as it's during school hours, you can come and ask me anytime. You can also message me on WeChat after class. Okay, thank you, teacher. I think I really do need to catch up on math, because between domestic and international curricula, the biggest difference is in math. I can't mess up during the first monthly exam, otherwise, I'll be mocked by that Yao dog. I have to prove myself, if only for my pride. Teacher G was pleased. Xiaobu is such a good student. She just wondered if such a well-behaved personality would lead to being bullied by classmates later. By the way, teacher, I suddenly asked, Yun Mengyao shouldn't be in the same class as us, right? I really don't want to be in the same class as that Yao dog. Teacher G smiled and said, Student Yun. Teacher G smiled and said they weren't in the same class, but she is in the class right next to us. We are class 2, grade 12. She is in class 1, grade 12. I nodded. That's good then, to provide the grade 12 students with the best academic environment. The school has arranged a separate teaching building for grade 12. There are 3 floors in total. My class, class 2, grade 12, is on the 2nd floor. I had heard by chance before that the first 2 classes of any grade were either the top academic performers or those at the top of the social pyramid, the young masters of prestigious families. For these wealthy heirs, all the teachers, regardless of their own background, dare not discipline them too strictly. Arriving on the 2nd floor, as I passed by class 1, I saw, sitting by the window near the hallway, Yun Mengyao in the very last row. She was leaning elegantly against the window, and sitting in front of Yun Mengyao was Su Muran, who was openly playing Honor of Kings. I tilted my head. This friend of Yun Mengyao's looks really familiar. Where on earth have I seen her before? Just as I was about to stop trying to remember, a scene from a private KTV room flashed into my mind. Oh, I remember now, I really have seen her. It was that night I went to pick up Yun Mengyao when I returned to the country. It seemed that back then, in order to get a better view of the fight between me and that Lu Chen guy, of the scene of us fighting, she even turned off the music in the room. She must be a very gossipy girl. As I thought about it, my gaze shifted, and my expression immediately soured. Don't tell me that Lu Chen guy is also at this school. All right, Xiao Bu, this is our class. Teacher G smiled at me and walked into the classroom. Although class had started 2 minutes ago, the room was still loud and chaotic. Even though they saw Teacher G standing at the podium, everyone still didn't quiet down. I was speechless. The teachers of these top 2 senior classes must be quite despondent and exhausted. Teacher G clapped her hands. All right, everyone, quiet down. I'm going to introduce a new student to you all. As she spoke, Teacher G looked at me outside. Come in. Almost all the students in the class showed no respect for any teacher, so, naturally, no one listened to Teacher G. However, hearing about a transfer student did catch many students' attention. The class was quiet for a few seconds at first, but after seeing me walk in, looking bright and handsome, the room suddenly erupted, especially the girls who were chattering away. Whoa, this transfer student is so handsome. I was so sleepy, but now I'm wide awake. I wonder if he has a girlfriend. The boys were unimpressed. Where is he handsome? I really doubt your taste, girls. One look at his face and you can tell he's had surgery. He's nowhere near as handsome as our brother Chen. The girls couldn't be bothered with these boys who loved to kiss up to Lu Chen. They follow Lu Chen around all day like lackeys, doing everything for him, never talking back or fighting back. In reality, they've probably wanted to tear Lu Chen apart for a long time now, but they just don't have the guts. They say that even if a hypocritical guy like him is handsome, girls still hate him. Lu Chen. My mind suddenly exploded. It couldn't be the same Lu Chen from that night, could it? Not only are we in the same school, but also the same class. Damn, I started searching for Lu Chen in the class. With just one glance, I saw Lu Chen sitting in the 2nd row. listening to music and casually playing on his phone, completely unaware of my presence. I gave a cold laugh. It really is him. I never expected that I'd actually run into this guy a second time. My originally good mood instantly vanished. Chu Changa was originally rushing to finish summer homework. He didn't have the slightest interest in the transfer student the teacher mentioned, but hearing everyone's loud discussion, he couldn't resist his curiosity and looked up. The moment he saw me, Chu Changa was shocked. It's actually him. He immediately put down his pen and nudged Lu Chen. Lu Chen took off his headphones, looked at Chu Changa, and asked, "What's wrong? Brother Chen, look at this new transfer student." Lu Chen frowned. Transfer student? What did a transfer student have to do with him? He wasn't interested. However, Lu Chen still glanced toward the podium. Just as he was about to look away, he suddenly froze. It was him. Seeing me, Lu Chen immediately remembered how I had humiliated him that night, and how I had slapped him twice in public. Lu Chen's face darkened instantly. To actually transfer into his territory, see how he'll deal with him. He closed the phone in his hand. Lu Chen slammed his hand down on the desk, and stood up. The classroom fell silent instantly. They looked at Lu Chen, then at me. That night, the little lackeys who were in the room with Lu Chen, some people have already begun to recognize me. At first, they were all surprised. Then, they started gloating. Looks like this senior year is going to be quite interesting. Under everyone's watchful eyes, Lu Chen walked right up to me. I looked at Lu Chen with a look of annoyance. Someone whispered quietly, "Does Lu Chen know this transfer student? It looks like they don't just know each other. They seem to have a grudge." "Shoo, stop talking. Do you want to get beaten up by Lu Chen?" The whispering stopped instantly. I raised an eyebrow. "Lu Chen, is it? It seems everyone in this school is quite afraid of him. No wonder he's so arrogant." Lu Chen reached out and lifted my school badge. He glanced at the name on it, Gu Shiyan. Then he tilted his chin up and looked at me. "During the summer vacation, I heard a transfer student was coming to our school. So it's you." I said coldly, "Take your hand off me. I don't like being touched by trash." Lu Chen pointed at me in a rage. Teacher Ji tried to speak up for me. "Student Lu Chen, please don't do this." "Shut up." Lu Chen glared at Teacher Ji with a very nasty tone. "Who do you think you are? Since when do you get to interrupt when I'm talking?" Teacher Ji's face stiffened. He looked terrible. Deep down, he really wanted to snap, but out of helplessness, he had to swallow his anger. It wasn't easy for him to move from a regular high school to Lying. The salary here is 5 times what it used to be. He really needs the money right now. If he offends Lu Chen, not only will his job here be gone, but his entire future career might be ruined. On his first day at Lying, another teacher had quietly told him to never offend Lu Chen, no matter what. Any teacher who had offended Lu Chen before was fired by the principal, and they couldn't find work anywhere after that. The consequences were understandably severe. Teacher Ji looked at me helplessly, feeling guilty that he couldn't protect his student like he used to. "Gu Shiyan, I'm so sorry. As a teacher, I really want to protect you, but I'm even more afraid of offending Lu Chen. Wait until you tell the principal later. The principal will surely give you a satisfactory result." I could see it. Not only were most students afraid of Lu Chen, but even the teachers were terrified. "It's okay to deal with someone like Lu Chen. I can handle it entirely by myself. No need to trouble anyone." I stared at Lu Chen. "I'll say it once more, take your hand off." There was no way he would. Lu Chen smiled disdainfully. "Gu Shiyan, are you ordering me?" He thought to himself, does he think that having Sister Yao's backing makes him special? Doesn't Sister Yao hate people who use their influence to bully others the most? So, there's a high chance Sister Yao won't like someone like me. She might even hate me. Since Sister Yao hates Gu Shiyan, she definitely won't care much about what happens to him. Even if he really did something to Gu Shiyan, Sister Yao would at most give him a verbal warning. The classmates were all excited this time, looking forward to what would happen next. It seems they had some history before. Gu Shiyan is going to have a hard time now. Lu Chen will definitely make my life exciting. He'll make me cry in rhythm. He might even be tormented to death by Lu Chen. After all, those who Lu Chen has driven to their deaths, there are already several. He uses psychological violence. Sometimes, this psychological violence is much worse than campus physical violence in terms of the damage it causes. Everyone was buzzing with discussion. Gu Shiyan is truly pitiful now. Even though he's handsome, he offended someone he shouldn't have. What can be done? Except for Sister Yao and Shin Qingyue, nobody's family power and background is greater than Lu Chen's. Behind Lu Chen, there's not only a prominent family background, but also many young ladies from wealthy families supporting him from behind. In the past 2 years, the number of students driven to drop out by Lu Chen has already reached 10, precisely because there are precedents. To avoid causing unnecessary trouble, tell me, will Gu Shiyan be driven to drop out within 3 months by Lu Chen? It won't even take 3 months, 2 months at most. Before, the beauty of Class 4 was exposed by Lu Chen, with a video of her changing in the gym locker room. She jumped off a building and committed suicide a week later. Although the classmates' whispers were very faint, I heard everything. So Lu Chen is the top dog of this school. No wonder he's as arrogant as a mad dog without a rabies vaccine. From their words, it's clear that Lu Chen frequently bullies students at school. But although Lu Chen is hateful, yet equally hateful are these malicious bystanders. Seeing a classmate being bullied, you can do nothing to protect yourselves from being involved. But please don't gloat. I looked at Lu Chen coldly, anger already burning in my heart. That's right, I am ordering you to take your hand off me. Otherwise, watch out, or I'll break your hand. Although I already paid him back with interest for that punch Lu Chen gave me. Whenever I think back on it these past few days, I still feel very frustrated. I've been in plenty of fights since I was a kid, so I've been hit plenty of times, but getting hit in the face was really a first. Since Lu Chen is so eager to seek his own death, then I don't mind settling the old and new scores together. Everyone was shocked. Does Gu Shiyan have a death wish? To actually dare to speak to Lu Chen like that, it must be the fearlessness of the ignorant. I think the reason he's so arrogant is probably because he has Sister Yao backing him up. Have you guys checked the school's group chat? Gu Shiyan arrived today in Sister Yao's expensive sports car. There are photos and short videos in the group. Just as everyone was about to take out their phones to check the photos, Lu Chen sneered, "Fine, give it a try." As soon as Lu Chen finished speaking, I straightened my shoulders and grabbed his wrist. I twisted it with all my strength. Lu Chen cried out in pain, "Gu Shiyan, let go." Almost everyone gasped. It was a rare sight. It was the first time they had seen anyone dare to treat Lu Chen like this. Seeing this, Chu Chang'e quickly rose to help Lu Chen, but was held back by the person behind him. "Chang, don't go. What if you get hurt?" Chu Chang'e impatiently pulled his hand away. The student behind him immediately looked upset. "I'm advising you out of kindness, and you act like this? Do you really think you're Lu Chen's right-hand man?" In Lu Chen's eyes, who knows if he treats you as a human or a dog? "Gu Shiyan, damn it, can't you hear me?" Lu Chen shouted as he raised his hand to punch me. Quick as a flash, I landed a punch on Lu Chen's face first. A dull thud echoed through the classroom. The room went silent instantly. Everyone stared at Lu Chen in shock. They had expected Lu Chen to hit me, but they never imagined I would actually hit him. A cold sneer appeared on my handsome face. "Keep your mouth clean. Otherwise, forget about just breaking your hand. I'll dare to beat you to the ground." Lu Chen was now in so much pain from his wrist that he couldn't even speak. Cold sweat began to bead on his forehead. Many in the class who had been bullied by Lu Chen were secretly laughing to themselves. "Gu Shiyan, don't go too far." Chu Chang'e stepped in front of me and pushed me away, saving Lu Chen. Lu Chen was in so much pain he was about to collapse. I was still full of anger, but seeing Chu Chang'e, I really couldn't bring myself to be a bully. I just can't bring myself to bully a good person. Just the thought of it makes me feel guilty. However, I found it very strange how a guy like him could be friends with someone like Lu Chen, though to each their own. His taste is certainly unique. I looked at Chu Chang'e. "I know Lu Chen is your friend, but please don't be so double-standard. He's the one who came here to pick a fight." Chu Chang'e was left speechless. The pain in Lu Chen's wrist finally began to subside. Being hit by me in public again, and in front of the entire class. How could Lu Chen ever let this slide? While my attention was elsewhere, Lu Chen took a step forward, grabbed my school shirt, and yanked it down hard. All the buttons on my shirt popped off, and scattered on the floor. My shirt flew open in front of everyone, revealing the black tank top I was wearing, and showing off my toned physique. Lu Chen was utterly disappointed. There was actually another layer of clothing. I looked at Lu Chen in shock. I knew he was bad, but I never expected him to be despicable to this extent. Surely, I'm not the only one Lu Chen has done this to. He must have done this to others before. Very well. You like to embarrass people you dislike in public, don't you? Then I'll let you know what that feels like. With all my strength, I yanked down Lu Chen's pants. The classroom went completely silent. You could hardly even hear anyone breathing. The students stared at me, dumbfounded. No one had imagined that not only would I dare to hit Lu Chen, but I would also dare to pull down his pants. The turn of events was simply unbelievable. Chu Chang'e reacted quickly. Just as he was wondering what to do, Su Xinran's slender figure flashed from the back row. She quickly stood up with her school jacket, and rushed to Lu Chen's side, draping the jacket over him. "Chen, are you okay?" I could tell, from Su Xinran's worried and panicked expression, that she really liked Lu Chen. I'm starting to lose faith in this world. How can someone like Lu Chen have both friendship and love? Slap. I was startled by the sudden sound. When I snapped out of it, I realized that the slap had landed on Su Xinran's face. Naturally, it was Lu Chen who hit her. A look of shock crossed my face. No way. Lu Chen even hits the people who are genuinely kind to him. He's out of his mind. Don't touch me. Lu Chen glared at Su Xinran, fuming. It was clear he was taking the anger he felt toward me out on Su Xinran. Su Xinran crouched on the floor, not daring to make a sound after he hit her. Her terrified look made me realize instantly that she is probably beaten by Lu Chen often. I can understand hitting someone you dislike, but hitting someone who loves you is something I truly cannot understand. Doesn't his conscience hurt? Chu Chang'e knelt down to pick up Lu Chen's jacket, and whispered in Lu Chen's ear, "Let's go to the restroom to fix this first. There are cameras in the classroom." Lu Chen glared at the camera, mounted on the back wall. Once he finished tidying up in the restroom, the first thing he'd do would be to delete that surveillance footage. I stood where I was, sunlight streaming through the window onto my tall figure, watching everything coldly. Lu Chen used Su Xinran's jacket to wrap his lower body tightly, accompanied by Chu Chang'e. He walked toward the classroom door. As he was about to leave, Lu Chen looked at me with a vicious gaze. "Gu Shiyan, just you wait. I'm going to kill you." I stood there coldly with my arms crossed, not even wanting to acknowledge him. A student from the class next door sitting by the window. They were originally drowsy, but upon hearing Lu Chen's voice, they instantly snapped awake. They crowded by the window to watch the drama. "It's the boss's voice. Who is Lu Chen going to teach a lesson this time? Someone called Gu Shiyan? I've never heard of someone like that in class 2 before." Thus, the students of class 1, right in front of the teacher, began to discuss excitedly, "Who is that Gu Shiyan? Does anyone know him? Is he just some obscure person from class 2? The transfer student is super handsome. He even got out of Sister Yao's car this morning. He's the guy walking next to Sister Yao in the school group video, the one who claimed to be Sister Yao's father." "What? Sister Yao's car? Then what's his relationship with her? How should I know?" "Go ask them yourself." "I wouldn't dare," the student said, instinctively looking toward Yun Mengyao. Yun Mengyao was elegantly holding a pen, nonchalantly sketching. Yun Mengyao is an art student. She loves drawing very much. Whether at home or at school, in her free time, she is either drawing or reading. Su Muran turned to look at Yun Mengyao, her slender fingers tapping on the desk. "Your handsome guy seems to be clashing with Lu Chen again." Yun Mengyao ignored Su Muran, her long hair draped down, focusing intently on her drawing. She acted as if she hadn't heard a thing. Dissatisfied, Su Muran tapped her finger against Yun Mengyao's desk. "I'm talking to you, Yun." Mengyao spoke calmly, "Mind your own business. Besides, he isn't mine." Su Muran was a bit worried. We both know what kind of person Lu Chen is. He'll destroy anyone who offends him. You should step in and stop it. Send him a WeChat or something. Otherwise, your handsome guy is going to suffer." As soon as she said that, Su Muran suddenly remembered that Yun Mengyao had never added any boys from school on WeChat. Su Muran said, "I almost forgot. You don't have Lu Chen's WeChat. In that case, just send a private message to Lu Chen in the QQ group. Give him a warning in advance. It's for your handsome guy's sake. Remember, if you hadn't stepped in that night, how could Gu Shiyan have escaped?" Yun Mengyao put down her pen, her fair fingers gently tucking a strand of hair behind her ear. She looked at Su Muran. Don't worry, even without me, Gu Shiyan can handle Lu Chen. Muran was stunned for a moment. Huh, black what? Black-hearted, let me tell you something you might not believe. Yun Mengyao curled her lips. If Blackheart really fights Lu Chen, he'll beat Lu Chen into a mental breakdown. Su Muran said, is he that powerful? The handsome guy looks quite gentle. Yun Mengyao whispered, gentle? He doesn't deserve that word. And Gu Shiyan can do more than just fight. He's exceptionally good at it. He's a black belt in karate. Back in middle school, he was the runner-up in the National Karate Championship. If Lu Chen pushes Gu Shiyan too far, Gu Shiyan will break his bones. Su Muran was dazed, it seemed he really was formidable. Su Muran said, but Lu Chen is the second young master of the Lu family, highly favored by his father and grandparents. If he gets provoked, it might affect Gu Shiyan's family. Yun Mengyao fell silent for a second. She whispered, Gu Shiyan is from one of the 4 great families, the young master of the Gu family. Su Muran was stunned. My mistake. I underestimated the handsome guy. She adjusted her long hair. I really didn't expect. Our school would have people from 3 of the 4 great families. Yun Mengyao of the Yun family, Shen Qingyue of the Shen family, and Gu Shiyan of the Gu family. Only the last family is missing, the second young lady of the Qin family. However, that Qin second young lady attends the elite private school, owned by her own family. She had seen the second young lady of the Qin family once, at a gala. She was even colder than Yun Mengyao. Su Muran turned back to continue her game, but just seconds after she turned around, Yun Mengyao took out her phone and sent a WeChat message. What's going on between you and Lu Chen? After Lu Chen left, Su Xinran got up from the floor. She touched her hot and swollen face where she was slapped, and walked toward her seat. I looked at Su Xinran with sympathy, and saw that her eyes were red. It was truly pitiful, although I've never known what it's like to be slapped by someone I like. The heart must hurt terribly the moment it happens. Faint whispers reached my ears. Truly 2 loyal dogs. To be honest, while Su Xinran is being pathetic, she also has absolutely no self-awareness. She's fat and ugly, yet she dreams of chasing Lu Chen. She should look in the mirror. I looked mockingly at the 3 boys speaking. Although I hate Lu Chen, compared to him, I despise these cowards who don't dare to speak up openly, and only gossip in the shadows. These types of people always love to pick on the weak. When they rely on influence to bully others, they are even more excessive than Lu Chen. Adjusting my school uniform, I looked at Mr. G. Mr. G, my uniform is torn. I'm going to the principal's office to get a new one. Mr. G nodded blankly, not yet recovered from the incident. Okay. Then, under everyone's gaze, I walked out of the classroom. As I was nearing the principal's office, the phone in my pocket rang. It was a call from Aunt Yun. I answered. Hello, Aunt Yun, Shiyan, how are things? Do you like your new school? Aunt Yun asked me with great concern. Are you comfortable with your classmates? If someone makes you feel uncomfortable, tell Auntie Yun. I'll have that person's class changed. As for Shiyan, although his temper is a bit short, if there's someone Shiyan doesn't like, they certainly aren't a good person. I'm fine, thanks for your concern, Auntie. That's good. Suddenly, Auntie Yun called out, you should be having class soon, right? I won't bother you then. If you run into any trouble at school later, feel free to find the principal or me. I agreed and hung up the phone. Just as I was about to put away my phone, I unexpectedly discovered that Yun Mengyao had actually sent me a WeChat message. Strange, how did Yun Mengyao know that Lu Chen and I had gotten into another fight? A flash of insight. I had the answer. It must be what Lu Chen said to me before leaving the classroom. Lu Chen's voice was so loud then, and Yun Mengyao is in the class next door. It would be strange if she didn't hear it. So, what does it mean for Yun Mengyao to message me now? Is she gloating? Yun Mengyao, you jerk. Wait, no, I suddenly reconsidered. Although we were separated by a screen, and I couldn't see her expression, I could feel that Yun Mengyao meant no harm. It wasn't that I was being conceited, mainly because when we were young, even if Yun Mengyao and I didn't get along, and fought every day, when she saw me being bullied by outsiders, she would still rush over to help me, knowing she had no ill intent. I replied on WeChat, I'll tell you later. Lu Chen ruined my school uniform. I'm at the principal's office to get a new one. I put the phone away. After knocking, I pushed the door and entered the principal's office. The principal was talking to two students, a boy and a girl. One of the things the principal hates most is being interrupted while speaking, but after seeing it was me, he immediately beamed with a smile. He stood up to greet me right away. Student Shiryan, hasn't class started already? Why are you here? The boy and girl standing before the principal exchanged a look and looked toward me. I felt a bit awkward. I thought during class time, there wouldn't be anyone else in the principal's office. Moreover, they seemed to be discussing something important with the principal. I should just finish and leave quickly. Just as I was about to tell him about the uniform, the principal noticed first. Student Shiryan, what happened to your uniform? The principal looked at me with slight surprise. I said indifferently, it was ruined by an arrogant young master. The principal asked sternly, who did it? Tell me, and I'll resolve this for you right now. Zhu Shi looked at me thoughtfully. His inscrutable gaze made it hard to guess what he was thinking this time. An arrogant young master, Yan Lingyan thought while looking at my school badge. From class 2, why haven't I seen him before? Could he be the transfer student the principal mentioned a few days ago? Since Shiryan is in class 2, then the young master he mentioned must be Lu Chen, coming to the principal's office to complain, and making the principal act this way. Shiryan's background must not be simple. Yan Lingyan kindly asked, classmate, is the young master you mentioned Lu Chen? I was stunned and nodded in surprise. Yes, how did you know? Yan Lingyan smiled helplessly. For various reasons, he didn't explain. Sure enough, it was Lu Chen, the young master who gave the student council an enormous headache. Since the principal and his family protected him, the student council couldn't touch him at all. What? Lu Chen, the principal's protective stance vanished instantly. He looked at me blankly. Shiryan, could you tell me what happened in detail? Damn, why is it Lu Chen? Although my background is many times more powerful than Lu Chen's, his family still owns 5% of the school's shares. I can't afford to offend them. Once offended, the principal might have to pack up and prepare to leave the next day. I didn't mind the presence of Zhu Shi and Yan Lingyan. It wasn't anything shameful anyway. I have a personal grudge against Lu Chen, so when he saw me, he wanted to hit me, but since he couldn't touch me, he ruined my clothes instead. The principal nodded, letting out a sigh of relief. His heart, which was about to jump out of his chest, finally settled back down. Good. Lu Chen didn't hurt me, and I didn't beat up Lu Chen, so neither of you is injured, right? The principal took a sip of water to calm his nerves. I'm not injured, I said flatly, but I gave him a slap and pulled down his pants. The principal almost choked to death on the water. He grabbed a tissue. While wiping his mouth, he patted his chest. After finally being able to breathe normally, the principal looked at me in shock and disbelief. You slapped Lu Chen, and... The principal was too terrified to finish. Yes, I nodded. He also said he'd kill me, but I'm not afraid at all. It's not certain who will kill whom. The principal's expression began to turn into despair. His heart ached. Previously, Lu Chen alone was enough to give him a headache. Now there's another one. The power of these two combined is truly terrifying. Just like before, he was so scared he nearly left this beautiful world. Chen Linan looked at me with interest. This Gu Shiryan really isn't simple. Student Gu, take some well-meaning advice. Lu Cheng is no ordinary person. He basically rules this school, and outside of school as well. I think it's better if you watch your words and actions. Watch my words and actions. I'm not listening. Why be cautious with someone like him? How you treat someone depends on what kind of person they are. Zhu Shi hesitated, but said no more. The principal looked at me nervously, on edge. Even his breathing was becoming labored. Student Gu, how do you plan to resolve this? I didn't take it seriously. How else? I'll handle it myself, of course. There's no need to notify parents for something like this. Notifying family is useless for these things. You have to rely on yourself. Family can protect you for a while, but can they protect you for a lifetime? Only by being strong yourself. Will no one dare to bully you? The principal breathed a sigh of relief. He finally smiled. All right then, resolve it yourselves. Lu Cheng, you'll be an adult soon too. I believe you can handle this properly. However, as soon as he finished speaking, the principal began to worry again. It's settled on my end, but what about Lu Qing? What if Lu Qing comes looking for him afterward? How could he find a perfect solution for both sides? It's so exhausting and annoying. Why did Lu Qing have to pick on him? Of all people, he chose Gu Shiyan. If it were any other student, he could just turn a blind eye, but since it's Gu Shiyan, helping either side is undoubtedly wrong. Despair. Making a living is so hard. He needed to be alone for a bit. Rubbing his temples, the principal said, Zhu Shi, Linen, I've told you everything I needed to. Take student Gu with you now, to get another set of school uniforms. In class 2, Lu Qing returned to the classroom with a dark expression, accompanied by Chu Chang'e. Zhou Qianqian turned around, and looked at Shen Qingyue, who was sitting behind her. It looks like this senior year is going to be very interesting. Shen Qingyue sat in her seat, the golden sunlight hitting her body, making the smile on her lips look exceptionally beautiful. Yeah, Zhou Qianqian said. Can I ask you something? Shen Qingyue kept the smile on her lips. Sure. Are you targeting Gu Shiyan because of Yun Mengyao? Zhou Qianqian was basically certain, but she thought it was better to ask. Yes, Shen Qingyue's smile deepened. I've set my sights on him.